What is up, my friends, and welcome to the first ever episode of Guessing My Viewers Rank. It's an absolute classic, of course. My admin, my tournament admin, is a big fan of Guess the Elo by Gotham Chess. I'm sure a lot of you guys will know it. And he inspired me to do an edition in StarCraft 2 myself. I'm going to be guessing the Elo of hamburgers for the first game. I saw Mr. Admin prepared me 4 replays, a couple Terrans, and a Zerg player. And I am already a little bit scared, to be honest, because I tried to guess the rank of StarCraft 2 players a couple times before. I tried to do it in chess as well, and I am absolutely terrible at it. So I remember, for the people that know chess ELO, I think the last time I watched to guess the ELO, I guessed 800 for a player that was 2000 rated. So that's pretty freaking bad. Okay. So far, I can tell that this is not a pro. I mean, his build was almost perfect, but I saw him make a little bit of mistake with the gas, and he's also sending an SCV out very early for a double gas. Though it seems to be some kind of prepared build. Okay, so maybe there is something cool about this. Now, I have to imagine that most players are going to be somewhat in the middle range. Like, I would imagine that there's not any real bronze players. I mean, Bronze League barely exists these days. I also doubt we're... Oh, no. Oh, okay. I like the repair, but the Protoss also kind of let him live there. You guys saw that? I also kind of doubt... I mean, we might get Grandmasters. I don't think we're going to get any hidden pros over here. Would be very funny, though. Okay, so it was an early... You know what? This is a nice build, actually. I like the idea behind this. Yeah, you can tell that the execution here, I'll get into it a little bit more in depth, is not perfect on the macro, because the factory was delayed because he was busy with the engineering bay. Also, if you play double gas, you usually want to cut SCVs as soon as you start the factory. So stuff is a little bit late. He's going for a proxy with the engineering bay SCV. That was the idea. I mean, I like builds like this, but it's not a perfect build for sure. Okay, I mean, so far my instinct is telling me that this is decent, but not super high. So I'm kind of hovering around. I want to say around platinum or diamond right now already. I mean, the opponent's build is obviously also going to be a tell. He's playing 3-gate robo on one base just because he got engineering bay blocked. Yeah, that is not ideal. Okay, I mean, we'll see. Now, Mr. Hamburgers over here is going for a bunker, which... I was going to say... Okay, this is going to be sad for him. I was going to say, this looks like a lift-in build, but this guy actually built his cybernetic square over here, so he's going to see it. And now we're going doubles. Have I done this build before? I know for a fact I've played double starport Banshee on one base against Pro. He doesn't see it. I mean, he does see it, but he doesn't see it. Look at this. He has no idea. Oh, that's so good. It's gonna go for... Is that Widowmine actually gonna freaking finish from this? I need to see the POV of this guy. Like, what's he... Okay, so he's looking at the front with a Zealot now. He's probably eternally confused, which makes sense. If you look at the minimap, he sees the big red... He still doesn't see it. Look at the freaking Widowmine in his mineral line. It's on his screen, but he still doesn't see... Oh my god, it's actually gonna hit his probes. There we go. How, 3 kills, and now he sees it. Okay, that is beautiful. It does indeed look like it is going to be double starboard Banshee. Honestly, pretty decent cheese. You lose it literally instantly to a Stargate, but besides that, it's pretty decent. Saving the Widowmine, well, actually, it's going to die, I think, because of the pathing, maybe, depending on the micro. No, okay. Hey, that is also a little bit of a tell. Oh, how much is that? 7 kills? Hamburgers. Okay, we are absolutely torturing this guy. And I can guarantee you guys that this is going to be a very, very hard guess. Now, if you look at the minerals right now, extremely low for hamburgers, right? So even though I said the build initially didn't look that streamlined, I also... there's a freaking Hellion out here too. Huh. This honestly does... Is this me? Like... am I getting tricked into shit-talking myself right now? Like, this is... It got another shot off. 9 kills on 1 Widowmine, guys. This has to be me, honestly. Who the hell plays like this? I mean, probably most of you, okay? If you watch me play and then play yourself, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm sure that this is going to be a very difficult guess. The Observer sees the 2 Banshees. Let's see what the response of the Protoss player is going to be. This Protoss player so far seems to not have minimap awareness. Okay, now he moves the Observer, but for the most part, I mean, the factory was missed for, I want to say, a solid 40 seconds or so. I think these Banshees were also seen for, I want to say, 40 seconds before he responded to it. And even now, he is not responding to it really, right? This is a classic thing that I see, and not even just in the lower leagues. I see it like legit, like Diamond and below. Maybe I see this a lot. Is that players see invisible units, Banshees, DTs, whatever, and just by the fact that they're invisible, it's pretty good micro on the Stalkers here, by the way, as well on the Banshees. But by the fact that they're invisible, they think they are countered by having detection. I've talked about this a lot before. You'll notice that, for example, Terran players, they will scan an invisible unit even though they don't have the units here. Here, this Protoss player does not have the units at all to deal with double starport Banshee, but just making an extra observer was enough for him, right? I think ideally here, even though there was no eco, you probably want to make a Stargate. I mean, with the damage that freaking Widowmine did, you're probably kind of cooked anyway, but I think probably want to go for a Stargate. Now you can tell that since the game is getting a little more active... Oh, this hamburger guy, man, he's got some freaking moves, though. Like Widowmine to snipe a Stalker. Like, this is kind of nasty, isn't it? This is totally nasty. But yeah, like I was going to say, you can tell that the macro is starting to slip pretty heavily. Even though we're still not even really on 2 bases. Like, I mean, the Protoss has a second base, but come on. It's like... Realistically, this Protoss is like on 0.7 bases. And the Terran player is on 1. It's going for battlecruisers as a follow-up, which is pretty cute. I do like the awareness to make a second bunker, by the way, because they got really far ahead from the early game start, right? So, just the fact that they went for a second bunker over here, which I think was reactive, was a pretty nice move. Now, we're gonna go for 2 Liberators first, instead of just building the BCs. I mean, you can't afford 2 BCs right away, but I feel like at this point you might as well build them. I guess they're afraid of getting counterattacked. Now, I do want to point something out. There were 26 workers killed, and the worker difference is 6. I mean, I know the Protoss player has been on 2 bases with Chrono Boost, but you would imagine that the Terran player could have made a couple more workers by 7 minutes, right? That's a good scan, please. No. Oh, no. That is the worst feeling as a Terran. Actually, top 3 worst feelings. Number 1 is lifting your command centers by accident. I think number 2 might be this. Number 3 is probably just a generic... losing your army to 1 Disruptor, 2 Banelings, 1 Storm, you know? But I think this is actually number 2 behind lifting your CCs. And what do we have over here? Yo, where are these Widowmines even coming from, by the way? Like, the factory died. I didn't even notice that. The factory freaking died. So it made 1 more Widowmine just to spite the guy, and then the factory died. I think... if we had, obviously you can't really know, but if we had made 2 BCs instantly, this game would have just ended to the 2 BCs. So we're going for 2 Liberator Harassment, plus 2 Ban... I mean, this is just a 100% uThermal build, right? You can tell Hamburgers is a fan. He watches, okay. Skytle's Mania probably doesn't, because he's never seen this build before in his life. Okay, we have 2 BCs to follow up. Factory. I think one thing that I would change is probably to just build, even though I don't have gas, probably to just build planetaries instead of trying to make a factory again. Because, like, 1 tank, I mean, it loses to, like, 2 Zealots. It's really not that great against Protoss, you know? Let's see. Okay, yeah, the micro on the Banshees really has been decent. And, oh, it's brutal. I'm not even sure if they unsieged, by the way. He might have just clicked them away from the main base. I'm not sure they unsieged. How many kills did they have? 5 and 5. How many warriors have we killed now? Like 40? 44 against 0. Protoss player also still hasn't counterattacked, by the way, which I also think is an interesting tell. Looks like he's gonna go for it now. Now he really has nothing left, but after losing 1 million workers, you usually want to counterattack. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely say, based on everything, that we're probably looking at... I said diamond to platinum before, but I think I'm gonna take away the platinum here, because the... I feel like the Banshee micro has just been too good. I know the Protoss is a little bit misleading in a way. Because, like, I feel like the Terran player at great harassment... The Protoss player, mostly what we saw from him is that he missed a big factory dot on his main for 40 seconds. Didn't counter the Banshees, but to be fair, at that point he was already a little bit dead. But the Protoss player is a little slow. It's actually... Oh, wait, I didn't even think about looking at the APM, by the way. 150 average for the Protoss, 106 for the Terran. Does APM tell me a whole lot? I mean, usually no, but 100 to 150 is low, for sure, okay? You will never see a pro that has this low APM, for example, but you could probably... You can still be a... I mean, there was a 6.2k Protoss player at some point that had 90 APM, so it's possible. If you play Protoss mainly, but it's possible. Okay, now this is not that pretty. Fighting against Liberators straight into the zones. Probably could have gone to the back here. The BC... Have the BCs even teleported across? BCs have not teleported across. Okay, yeah, I think based on everything, I have my verdict over here. I think the micro was too good to be platinum. I think the build execution also probably too good to be platinum. I think a couple of the things made it not good enough to be masters. Once again, I'm probably going to offend some people in this episode, so sorry. Okay, if I guess you too high, you're welcome. If I guess you too low, I'm sorry in advance. For example, keeping all these BCs at home all this time, even though one teleport across would have won the game, that's one of the tells. Protoss player, poor minimap awareness, right? He did recover pretty well, I want to say. Like, he probably, yeah, more than 50 workers. A lot of Protoss players would have just surrendered already, been dead. He had a good fighting spirit. Okay, he did his best with what he had. Poor minimap awareness, though. A little bit on the slow side. Macro did not slip that much early on, but it did start slipping later. So I want to say that this is probably mid-diamond with about 3,600 MMR. That's gonna be my final guess. Please play along with me, by the way, but no cheating, okay? No freaking cheating. Now let's see. What is the elo going to be for this one? It is 3,439 Diamond League. So that's probably like mid-low diamond, I want to say. So I was off by about 160. I'm not quite sure what you guys would consider a success. Maybe I have to be within 10 for some of you guys, but I think being that close is actually a really, really good start. I was really afraid I was going to guess like 5k for a 2k player. Well, that one is honestly not possible. Maybe the other way around if they have a really bad game. But game number 1 was a successful guess. Let's go to game number 2. Okay, for game number 2, we're going to be guessing Mr. WikiWho, who I do remember from my Discord. And he's playing a TVT against Potato Head. Okay, so this is proving to be a pretty promising start over here. This is, okay, this is the first weird thing that I saw already. This guy skipped an SCV to make a depot. And he's not making another SCV, and I was making it... Okay. I mean, this is a very interesting start to the game already. 13 depot, 13 gas, I think I'm confident in saying, is a build I have never seen before in my life. So either this guy is doing an absolutely terrible build, or he's about to open me up to a new reality. Those are the only two options here. 14 barracks. Okay, I mean, it could be a build, you know? Like, he's just doing a super fast gas first, basically. So if he has, like, an insane timing, we'll see. Now, WikiWho is playing gas first himself, with a normally timed barracks. Did miss an SCV here already, and he's making another gas. Okay, so, I mean... not to guess too fast, but based on this has to be lower MMR than the last game already, I think. This, I feel like the early game builds can tell you quite a lot. Last game, if I remember correctly, the early game build was pretty clean up until the point where the factory was supposed to go down, at least. Here I already saw a couple of mistakes on both sides. Unless, once again, Potato Head has an absolutely nuts build ready for me. And in that case, I can't wait to copy it. Go for a fast wall. Let's look at the orbitals. No instant orbital? Oh, okay. That is another sign, eh, guys? Just as a pro tip, orbitals are freaking broken. Terran sucks without orbitals. Also not an orbital here. Okay, yeah. I see. That's big tells, honestly. Just, even if you have to... Let's say you have an SCV that's like 30% done. You would probably still cancel it to make the orbital. Because mules are like 4 SCVs in terms of mining. Like, it just gives your eco such a boost. I think you would actually do that. So your factory is going to come down at 250 gas. Definitely a little bit of miss macro here at the start. Now, Potato Head is starting with a 1 gas opening. Oh yeah, just might as well give some tips here, by the way. If you're going to go for a regular double gas... you actually open barracks before gas. It's more economical, and I think... in a normal build, your starport is even faster with that. So just saying, that's like the standard way to do it. Barracks, gas, gas, instead of gas, barracks, gas. Gas, barracks, gas was mostly used, I want to say, like 7+ years ago. That's when it was still meta until the other players found out that just making your barracks first is better in like every way. The reason why I play gas first is because sometimes I want to go for fast Hellions while expanding. That's when it's good. Okay, so Potato Head is going to go for Marine Tank. And WikiHoo is going for 2 barracks and a factory. Okay. And he's going to go for Hellions? No? No, we decided not to. 2 Reapers. Okay. Man of my heart. I love to see it. So we're having an expansion over here. WikiHoo still doesn't have an expansion. Also has a lot of gas. Actually, I think a good tip would be, by the way, for lower league Terran players, let's say Platinum and below, for example. You would probably prefer to not play 2 gas builds on 1 base. Mostly for the reason that a proper 2 gas build cuts gas. So after making the factory, you take 1 SCV out of gas and then you slowly reintroduce them when it's time. It's just a bit of an APM sink and you need to know to do it when. And if you don't do it, you end up having 500 gas. Obviously, not that much with a better build order, but you end up having a lot of gas. So I think for that reason alone, that you can skip that part, it's probably nicer to just play 1 gas builds. So Potato Head moves out with 4 Marines and 1... this is going to be exciting, because this could be absolutely crushed, or it could kill everything. Okay, he's going to move out at the right time. Yeah, let's see. Is he scared? Oh, he's scared. No, believe in the Reapers, Wiki. Okay, going for the counterattack is a cool move, to be fair. He probably didn't know what was behind there. In this case, he could have just killed everything here, by the way. That's why I wanted him to fight this. Now, we have another double starport, but this time... what have I done, guys? Like, this is not the person that sent in the replay, and he's playing double starport. Hold on. What did I just see? Okay, so WikiHoo comes back. Instead of the count... He dropped a mule to repair the tank. Or to mana mule the opponent. I'm just gonna be... I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, okay? And say that he did it to repair the tank. That was obviously a hopeless mission, though. So that is something to keep in mind as well. And we have... God, I feel like I've ruined the ladder with this double starport stuff. Actually, he might go BCs. Let's see. Are we gonna kill something here? There's a tank over here that was probably defending against Reapers, I want to guess. Okay, this is going to be pretty painful. Sieges the tank's pretty far forward, but there's another tank. If it was just this one, he probably could have killed that. Oh, good. You guys saw the micro on the Reaper? Hey, that was crazy, no? He actually pulled the 1 Reaper away. You never know if it's 100% on purpose, right? But it looked like it was, and it looked good. Okay, that's a good one. For me personally, where I'm at is that I was pretty much deciding between gold and plat. And that little micro move makes me think it's probably plat. That's where my head is at right now. Do we have stim or anything? No upgrades. Okay, so this tech lab has been for the meme so far. WikiHoo still has an insane amount of gas. 700 gas just now. Terran player is playing turret Liberator Reactor from the 2 starports. Extremely questionable. I guess we'll see. I mean, Liberators are, honestly, they're a unit that you don't see a lot. But whenever I see them in TVT, they kind of work. So it's not even really a bad thing to do. It's just if you go double starport, you might not want to go for Liberators. Now let's see if he decides to go for the drop right away. There's a scan somewhere. Okay. Red player scans. Also notice the energy on these orbitals, by the way. This one is pretty clean. This one has almost 3 mules available. This player has spent his orbital energy a little better. There's a scan here by the Terran. Okay. He's gonna attack the front. Interesting. I don't actually know what the higher level move is between dropping instantly or sieging here. Because both kind of make sense. I feel like dropping into the main base pre-scan would have probably been the best move. But it's also not that easy. And what are we going to go for? We're going to go for the tech lab. Okay. Oh, look at this lib. Oh, this could go ham because we're being attacked at the same time. Yeah, this lib... Okay, good reaction. Decent reaction, I should say. Obviously, losing 8 SCVs plus isn't that good, but... oh, yeah, the multitasking is falling apart a little bit. Oh, no, the freaking turret kills it as well. Now, we have a Liberator over the front side. Please don't siege in the turret range. Okay, if he sieged it, it would have been in turret range. Hasn't sieged the Liberator yet. Oh, that is actually so close to the turret. Now the tanks are... This is an absolute mess. He's not targeting the tank, by the way. Very important move to target the tank there, and he didn't. This Liberator is also killing every single SCV here now. Is the red Liberator still alive? Yes, it is. 14 kills and counting on that Liberator. This Liberator is on 10. He managed to successfully counter a Liberator by building a turret under it. Which is just gorgeous, honestly. Absolutely love. How is the red player winning still? It just... I know this Liberator killed... Wait, why did he ping that? I know this Liberator has a 16 kill. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, it's gonna get one more SCV probably. Yeah. Okay, 18 kills to this Liberator. I mean, I know it has a billion kills, but somehow it hasn't felt like the game went too well for red. But if you think about it, it really has. I was just thinking, red lost his army at the front, and then this maybe should have been an unstoppable push. But at the same time... No, that tank... Oh... At the same time, Liberator with 20 kills, the drop got killed, so thinking about it, it does make a lot of sense. Oh, that actually hurt a little bit. Excuse me. Pro tip. Very important pro tip, actually, for TVT. If you have Marines... Oh. That was almost good micro. Okay, it was good micro in the end. He saved one more shot. That was good. If you have Marines with no combat shields, if you stim them, they get one shot by the splash of a siege tank. So one tank can literally kill 10 Marines instantly. So, in that case, when you're going past the siege tank, it might actually be better to not stim. Because then you just have like 5 Marines that are 5 HP instead. And then you can stim after. The result of that is that you still have the same amount of stim Marines. But the Marines that would be dead now have 10 HP. Right? Triple armory. Yeah, I mean, this is a game. For sure. God, this build... I mean, it is so ridiculous. I'm not saying I mean, I'm an upgrade rush kind of guy, as you guys probably know by now. So I don't mind it, but I've literally struggled. If you guys have watched my mech upgrade rush videos, I have struggled to make 2 armory upgrade rushes work because it costs so much gas. This guy just plops down 3 like it's nothing. Absolutely based. But to be fair, he did wait until the attack was over. Now let's look at the... I mean, this attack should finish the game, but let's look. Actually... No, he's not going to react in time. Okay, if Wiki, who was paying attention, would have stimmed on top of it instantly, there would have actually been a decent chance he could clear it up. Now he should just be 100% dead, unless he catches him unseized. Let's see, how is the sync up on this? SCVs are a little bit too fast. No target fire by the tanks, by the way, that's important. He's going to target fire the tanks over here himself. And he is going to clean it up still. Okay. That was a surprisingly good cleanup, by the way. I know I lost his SCVs, but that was really surprisingly good. Just to go back to my earlier point, you can't play Bio without making combat shields, okay? Because you just can't. It's actually, in TVT, this sounds absurd. It might even be more important than stim, generally speaking. Like, if you drop, obviously you'd rather have stim, because you can go in fast. But if you're just taking fights, you would rather have combat shields than have stim. So I guess, I mean, you don't see a lot of pro players do this because pro players tend to be more active with their units and stuff. But if you're not expecting to drop right away, you might actually rather get combat shields. In fact, that's maybe another thing that I would suggest to the lower leagues. You just get combat shields instead of stim. Now, this red Terran player over here has a very good SCV production, by the way. Also, their average APM was exactly the same at 120. That is about the same as last game, to be fair. Like, I have even said gold or plat, while last game was mid-diamond. These guys are faster than the last Terran. Once again, APM is not really that good of a metric, to be honest. I might as well get that into your guys' brains right away. APM is such a shitty metric to discover skill. Like, I see a lot of players, they play on the ladder, and they play against a platinum guy with 300 APM, and they're like, yeah, 100% Smurf, go next. Meanwhile, the guy is just like... just spamming his buttons for absolutely no reason. Also, some races have more APM than others. Like, Protoss has the least unit and Zerg has the most. So Zerg just has most APM by default and Protoss has the least, right? If you use the Alt Steel hotkey, you get more APM by default. Like, it's not... Like, for example, since I spam a lot, this is actually pretty cute, by the way. Since I spam my keyboard a lot when I play, my girlfriend copied that, so she plays... She doesn't play much these days. When she plays in Silver League, but she spams the exact same as me. You know, even though it's like... just probably spend their APM somewhere else, you know. What is what it is. Now, this army is actually massive, but no combat shield. No, look at these Marines. Oh, they're getting butchered by the siege. This shot's gonna go hard as well. Actually, it only hit the front Marine. Hold on a second. No. Wiki, no. That's... Look at this production tab. Go in the main. Right here. Right here. Right now. Yes, you have to go for it. Okay. Number one way to beat a Terran is just get on top of their production, because Terran only makes production in... No. No. It's gonna hit. Another split by Wiki. Yeah, I think he definitely promoted from gold to platinum, right? The micro. 2 instances. Can't be a coincidence anymore. And he rage quits. Oh my lord. How is that even... How do you lose that? That is just... That is actually just illegal. Look at the state of this game. Okay. He did get a really fat supply block. 60 work... Did he just stop making units? Look at this. So he makes 2 tanks over here. This is the I think this is the last tank he builds. When is it? Like 11 minutes. Does he build anything after this? He just... What? Why is he getting bio upgrades? What is going on here? I didn't even notice that. He's making 5 upgrades at once. This is honestly a legendary throw. This probably must happen all the time, you know, in the lower leagues. But what is this? He made 4 CCs on location. He's making uThermal sensor towers, which I don't actually build at base, but just a mine game, so that's a plus for Potato Head. And then he's making... He's not building a single unit right now, okay? He started building a Thor, but it got supply blocked. Making 5 upgrades at once. Still, he hasn't made a depot. He's making depots now. Still hasn't built a unit. Doesn't use the Raven, I think, which could have dropped 4 auto turrets, and he dies. Okay, well, that is a legendary way to die. That is for sure. Yeah, I would say that it has to be platinum, most likely, right? The micro instance really was quite good by Wiki. The APM does catch me off guard a little bit. It's just easy to get tricked by it, because these Terriers are faster than the last one, and the last one is pretty good. But I do think it has to be significantly lower MMR. So I'm going to say this is platinum with... Platinum is around 3000 MMR, right? So I think 2950 MMR. That is my guess. Now let's see if that is true. 3008. Oh, I was even closer than last time. Look at that. And it was indeed platinum. Okay, hey guys, I'm actually good at this. What the hell? I guess if I get to observe the game fully and I actually try hard, I'm pretty good at this. Okay, not bad. I wonder how good you guys are doing so far, because maybe these games are like particularly easy, or I'm actually just popping off. I'm not quite sure. I know a lot of you tend to be very harsh. You see a diamond player and you're like, there's no way this guy's diamond. He lost to a Reaper or something like that, you know? So I'm quite curious. But okay, 2 successful guesses. Let's go to game number 3. Okay, game number 3 is yet another Terran player. I saw the next game was going to be a Zerg, so maybe Terran players are just easier for me to guess. It is possible. I guess we'll see. The Terran against Protoss. Now, I think this replay was... Actually, no, I thought it was very long, but it's 14 minutes. Okay. If a replay is very long, I might have to speed through it a little bit, you know, to not spend 45 minutes on one replay. I think that would be nice. Now, let's see. I think I get a lot of the... I noticed, right? I get a lot of the intel from the early game build order. Like, the early game build just says a lot. It is possible that maybe it's the best to, like, skip the first 5 minutes. Maybe I should try that one time as well. Skip the first 5 minutes. And then see if I can still... I mean, so far this looks really clean. Then see if I can still guess it just as well. Probably a lot more difficult, actually. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but... I did get these replays from the Patreon, so if you want to be in the next edition, if you guys really like this, then make sure to check that out. You can also submit technically via being a Twitch sub or via being a Giga Mark enjoyer, but Patreon just takes a smaller cut, way smaller, and has more value for you guys, so it's just the easiest to go over there. But yeah, for you Giga Mark enjoyers, obviously, you can also submit via the Discord, that is. Okay, wait, this build is pretty crazy that he's doing. I'm not sure I've seen this version of this build before. So he went for a fast wall off. He's also retargeting the SCV. Well, not really retargeting, but okay, does he save it? He does save it. Okay, I mean, pretty good so far. Not bad. The Protoss player made 1 probe too many. Bronze League. No, just kidding. No, he did make 1 probe too many technically, but not that big of a deal. 3 racks Reaper. Okay, this is This is by far the most confusing early game. Notice how the Protoss player is microing the probe to cut off the SCV. This is higher level stuff for sure. Now, what's confusing about this is that, let's see, Mule instantly as well. Okay, I mean, this is the highest level execution so far, but playing 3 ranks Reaper against Protoss that's something I barely do, you know? Wait, did the SCV escape? Oh, it did escape. He lost it. He lost track. He got out-microed. Okay, so the Reaper is going all the way up here. Probably to scout for something. I don't know if this guy is a proxy Stargate demon on the ladder or whatever. I have no idea. Let's look over here. Twilight Council. Before Warp Gate, actually. That is also a pretty expert move, I want to say. Okay. I mean, once again... Oh, not killing that probe is a little bit weird. Was he hoping that he wouldn't see the Reaper? Probably, actually. I mean, he's trying to hide them. This is the right way to go about it, because... This was a funny moment, by the way. If guys, just a very important one. Actually, do it anyway because it's funny. Grenading there is actually a massive mistake because the grenade doesn't kill the worker any faster, but there is sometimes a small chance that you grenade the unit over the wall. Now, the probe here wasn't going to happen, but sometimes there's like a unit here, you grenade it, it jumps over the wall and it would scout you. So you actually don't really want to drop that grenade there. But yeah, I mean, it's a very small thing. Okay, so I do like the execution of this. I don't think it's a great strategy. However, it could work. It really depends on what your opponent does. So he's chrono boosting mass stalkers because he's scared. The best thing for Protoss to do would probably have been to make a sentry and just get a free scout, but we'll see. Saving the Reapers is definitely the right option. Let's look at the micro. Okay, he loses 1 Reaper right away. Yeah, couldn't really have avoided that too much unless he went over here. Obviously, he was looking for some serious damage. Yeah, I mean, the Reapers just don't really get that much done against Protoss. Now, this Protoss is not keeping vision over here. That is very... that's a big mistake, actually. Like, no battery. Actually, the battery wouldn't have mattered. Okay, are we gonna go in? It was a little bit on the later. Let's see. Boom. 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 Good one-shots. Yeah, good micro on those Reapers for sure. Okay, it's like, oh man, it's like 8 workers killed. The Stalkers are also derping a little bit. He's targeting the low HP ones. Get this one. Yeah, he gets... I think he just killed 2 with 1 grenade, right? That's crazy. Now you got 3 more Reapers over here. And now he's switching to mass Marauders. Okay. I mean, once again, theoretically, probably... Oh, the micro's good there, I think. Oh, barely not. Oh, maybe he could have killed that front one. But it was good kiting for sure. Execution, great. Strategy, not amazing. But this is something that could work, to be fair, if you're playing it as a prepared strategy. From my POV, if I play against someone that I know doesn't roll the Reaper Cliff and doesn't make a sentry early on, which some Protoss players do, this could be something that I would consider doing. So it's possible that at his MMR, people never sentry scout, and then it's actually a pretty good strat. Yeah, this is also a good defense. Going into the double Marauder right away. I mean, the execution here is fantastic, honestly. I'm even starting to... I'm not gonna lie, I saw the start, and I was sure that it was gonna be Masters. I'm even starting to think this might be Grandmaster, you know? Like, it's... Okay, like, to be fair, not having the Stalkers over here, that is a pretty glaring error. Doing this strategy against Protoss is also a little sus, but... Having said that, TVP right now, just objectively... I'm not inviting a Horrible Balance Wine, just objectively. TVP is very hard for Terran. And I would also recommend that if you play TVP at higher levels, that you do something that's a little crazy. Because if you play the standard, I just don't think it's going to go well for you most of the time. So this could also be a high-level decision to just be like, you know what? This matchup is hard. I don't want to get stuck in the usual mojo of TVP. Let me just do something a little crazy, right? So, honestly, this could be a Grandmaster game. Very interesting, this. Charge. The building positioning of this Protoss is not high level, though, just saying. This base kind of looks like the base of an AI, a little bit. Just a little bit of tips here, of course. I'm going to give tips throughout this entire video, because it's just, that's what I like doing, like helping you guys. He's trying to find damage with his Stalkers, which is really nice, by the way. Actually gets a bunker, saves the Stalker too. That's good. You just want to put your buildings down in a useful way. So you can wall the Reaper Cliff. A lot of Protoss players don't like doing that for good reason, because sometimes there's a tank push and then you lose your cyber core or whatever. But at the very least, what you can do is, for example, pylon here, gateway here, cybernetics core here. And that's a very standard setup, because that means the Reapers can't get through here, right? Even if it's just the one Reaper, not usually it's just one, right? Reaper can get through. If it's a Hellion drop, more common build, it can get through. There's going to be one gap over here that you can block pretty easily with one pylon. Would have prevented most of the damage in this game as well. Now, he's also walling off his mineral lines, so I think based on what I'm seeing from the Protoss, I'm going to go back down to high Masters. Good micro. Terrible base building. I still feel like the Terran player, he's playing extremely well, though. Like, the follow-up is good. The building positioning is actually, yeah, it's decent for Terran. Terran needs different building positioning than Protoss, funnily enough. For Terran, what you want to avoid is having... It's pretty interesting stuff, actually. With Terran, you don't want to make your stuff too close to the edge, because then the Blink Stalkers can snipe your buildings. You want to have them, like, kind of around here, usually, so you can put a tank behind it. In this case, Terran player doesn't have a tank. So you just kind of want to have your stuff away from the edge for the most part. That's a good move. Fake Colossus has a lot of charge slots as well. Let's see how this fight is going to go. This is going to be a big tell. Good micro by the Terran. Good micro by the Protoss as well. One thing that you want to do as Protoss usually is focus fire down the medevacs, but the army count is quite small. So it's possible... Okay, he's not focus firing the medevacs, so that is another little tell here. Definitely a high level game, but not perfect for sure. Does the Protoss have any kind of upgrades? No, no +1. He's only making his first forge now. Honestly, I would also say that that is a high-level move as well. Delaying the forge, because early game was bad, so he can get more zealots out, is a good call. If he would have gone for the standard Robo Bay, forge, maybe third gas, he probably dies to this for sure. But that's a really good decision there by Mr. Protoss to actually just make a lot of zealots, and now... he shows that he didn't just want to all-in, because he's actually going to make the forge after. We are still missing a Robo, so let's see. Right now, he's kind of playing like me a little bit, right? Without the upgrade rush, just making Zealot Stalker for the most part. Yeah, he does definitely need to do some damage in this situation still. One thing I'm really missing from the Terran player here, by the way, is Widow Mines. I know a lot of a lot of Terran players don't like Widow Mines, but if you're playing against 2 gas, Mass Zealot, you really do want to build some Widow Mines. Like, Bio is honestly not good enough against Zealots without Widow Mines. Bio is good when you get a really big army, and you can kite, and you get EMPs, but if it's just Marine Marauder, Medevac, it's just the Zealots... Like, Protoss is usually richer. In this case, they're not usually richer. You can't really beat Zealots that way. So even though he doesn't technically have to make Widow Mines here, it would make his life better for sure. A good timing on these eBay and Armory as well. Pretty much when you want to build them is just halfway through your second +1. So you have +1 attack, you make +1 armor, halfway through it, you start the eBay and the Armory. That's the timing. A lot of... Even pro players will miss that timing sometimes, because it's kind of in a busy part of the game, so that's very nice. Protoss players making Storm. I mean, I like how they're am I really gonna predict this to be a Grandmaster game, guys? Am I crazy for saying that right now? I might be crazy. It's a good Zealot run by. Also, look at that. He also splits up a couple Zealots so he can do another run by later. Let's see, he's gonna unload the medevacs. He's not gonna do it. Okay. He could have. He's not gonna do it. Focus firing down the SCVs very nicely as well. I don't know how many workers were killed there. I don't know if they were all 7. I would guess the Stalkers maybe killed 1 or 2 as well. He's gonna make static defense over. He probably saw that drop, I want to guess, right? And the drop saw these Zealots, so he's actually checking. Look at that. Oh, doesn't go as far enough to check. Okay. Depot over here for vision. God, this is good stuff. This is kind of a weird setup to make a lot of cannons over here, by the way. He also dropped down here, probably because he got spotted, I want to guess. If that's the case, it's a high-level move. Okay, if he dropped over here because he got spotted, it kind of looks like it, right? Looking around and moving Stalkers over here. Now, this is good stuff, guy. I'm impressed. This is good stuff for sure. I like it. 4th base is saturated. How many gateways are we on? We're on 10 gateways, which is not as many as you want as Protoss at this moment, but, you know, rough early game for the Protoss and all. Terran over here to scout. He does have Storm. Okay, good. If he fought there, he would have gotten crushed so hard, by the way, the Terran player. Okay, that's a little bit of an F2. Using the all-armor hotkey too much is honestly not really a sign of MMR anymore, because even the literal best Protoss player in the world, Hero, uses the all-armor hotkey too much. So it's like, you know, it's kind of hard to say anything. Huh. Robo going down now. It's slightly late. It is impressive how the Protoss player managed to survive, by the way, after that start. Oh, that's a bad split there, as you can see. It was because he wanted to attack move over here. Good multitasking by the Terran here for sure. Okay, a lot of Zealots warping in. Started firing probes. That's something I would do as well. 4 Ghosts on the way now. Extra command centers. He's moving here at the same time. Okay, so looking at this Terran player, like, some things look off compared to a pro perspective, but it's still really good. Like, for example, something about this doesn't look right to me. Like, he has a big army without Widow Mines, and he has 14 medevacs. Like, it would make way more sense to split them here. But then again, the micro is fantastic. The multitasking is good. He even was able to pick this up. Didn't save the medevac, of course. He could have saved the second one in the corner, but didn't save them. But he did have the multitasking to pick those up, even in the middle of the fight. He pre-split his army, which is a big deal. Protoss player is somehow up in attack upgrades, which is crazy. Now he's going to try to bait him into the storms for sure. Force field will be nice, actually. Oh, man. That was a rare opportunity to make... Oh, look at that micro. No high ground vision, so he snipes a Templar. Now there's no storms left. If he knew there were no storms left, he would jump on that on an instant. Now, this is a good game. Do we have any advanced upgrades yet? No Liberator range on the way. Okay, so this Terran player right now, he's missing the late game transition completely. Which could be a deliberate choice, because that's also what I do usually. So, if you want to play it properly and go for the late game, when you start 2-2, you also start +1 air weapons. And then when you start 3-3, you start +2 air weapons. And the reason why you need it is because +2 air weapons is an insane power spike for Liberators. It means that you 2-shot Stalkers instead of 3. And with EMP, it's 1 shot instead of 2. It's actually a massive deal. Without +2, Liberators are actually not that good. With +2, they're insane. So the fact that he doesn't have that either shows that he doesn't know how to. But I think it's more likely that he just wants to finish the game this way. Which... I think it's a very reasonable play. Also, good feedback as well. It's a very reasonable play. All the way up to mid-Grandmaster. If you're top Grandmaster, I think you would rather go for that late-game transition. Because Protoss is theoretically a bit better here right now in this mid-game stuff. But in the late-game, Terran gets strong. If you play against the really strong Protoss players, you probably want to go for that late game. He is going to go for the Fusion Core after all. But it's probably because he's maxed and he has too much money. So... Wow. This is going to be a hard one. This is going to be a hard one for sure. I mean, it has to be Grandmaster, no? I feel like it's just too good. He's walking through the storms. This is why you want to go for the late game, by the way. Like, even up so much supply, it's pretty hard to finish games against Protoss. Protoss leaves without GG. That's very classic Grandmaster Protoss. I mean, I don't know the names of these guys, though. I feel like if it's like a really high Grandmaster, I feel like I would kind of know their names, you know? But I do not. But I still think it has to be Grandmaster, right? Wasn't it just too good? I mean, the build's kind of crazy, but just based on the skills I've seen, I feel like it should even be kind of like decent Grandmaster as well. I'm not talking about like bottom of NA Grandmaster, like 4.7k. I think it's like 5.3 or something. I just really like the way... Like, his strategy is not perfect, honestly. Like, the opening was not perfect. The not going to the late game is not perfect. Lack of Widowmine is not perfect. But the micro was good. The macro honestly looked great to me. At this point, like, you probably want to make... Like, he's really just missing the entire late game transition, right? Like, no +1 air weapons, or +2 in this case. No second starport. No fusion core, even though we know he made it at some point. Probably for medevac upgrade, to be honest. Seeing how he played, no extra command centers. He did make a sensor tower, but that's pretty basic. No bunkers either. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for the instinct. I'm gonna say that he's 5.4k MMR, very decent mid Grandmaster. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm a little scared for this reveal, to be honest. Let's see, what is it gonna be? 5k. Okay, 5k. So it says masters, but I thought 5k was. I feel like 5k is actually Grandmaster these days, to be honest. So it's really on the border of EU Grandmaster and Masters. Okay, so a really good game, honestly. Overrated them by a little bit, but that just shows that the play looks really good. Because to me, this play really looks very decent. Honestly, mid-Grandmaster level for sure. And I think, judging by this game, the downfall probably usually comes from the strategy. Because I imagine a Reaper build like that, sometimes you run into an Oracle, you die. Sometimes you run into someone above the Reaper Cliff, you die, you know. Sometimes you don't get ahead, and then you play this late game Lus style, and you probably die. So the strategy is probably where it lacks. I was very impressed by the micro and macro. So that is, I mean, I would call it a semi-success, honestly. I really don't think I was that far off, but 400 obviously is the furthest off I was today so far. But really fantastic game. Applause for Mr. Terran over here. I think he played fantastic. Now let's go to the final game. Okay, the final game of the day is going to be our first non-Terran guess somehow, and we're going to be guessing a Zerg player hero called Panorama. Now, I have to imagine that this has to be harder by default for me. I think Terran should be the easiest to guess, probably followed by Protoss, and then followed by Zerg, because Zerg is very technical in how you have to play the game. Like, Zerg is very reactive. You need to make your spores at a certain time, units at a certain time to deal with first 4 Hellions or with 2 Adepts, and then you put your Queens here for a couple Oracles, and I'm a bit more of a freestyle player, so I feel like that should make it harder for me to guess Mr. Zerg over here. Now he's going to start with a good opening. He did misplace that drone. Yeah, I caught that for a second. Let's see. Hey, just a little thing here, yeah. I think this Zerg might not know that hatcheries are cheaper now. Because you could tell he tried to start the hatchery when he had 300, but hatcheries cost 275 now. Just the thing. Maybe you didn't know, okay? Maybe you were just not paying attention or whatever, but it's possible. So I'm just saying. It's a thing that a lot of Zergs probably haven't realized, but hatcheries are a bit cheaper now, so you can start them a little earlier. Obviously not a big deal, but... It did go, by the way, go for 16 hatch, and this is mostly something that's important against Terran. Oh, this is a bit of a tell. That is not a wall. He's not. First of all, he's not walling the natural, which you should against Zerg, but he's also not even really walling the main base here, okay? 16 hatch is a newer build compared to 17 hatch, so that is like a very small detail, but it's obviously something you can just copy. It doesn't matter if you're Silver or GM, you can copy it, but still, it's nice to be on updated build orders, right? Okay, so Overlord's gonna go across. This is probably gonna be very weird to not see the wall off at the front. Let's look at the vision of the Zerg. I'm kind of curious if something... Like, this should look weird. He should investigate this. He definitely thinks it's weird. So he clicks on the Nexus, sees it's normally timed, and goes back to work. Okay. So it was indeed weird, but they were not flabbergasted. That's what I got from that movement over there. There's an Overlord here. Yeah, I mean, probably just to prevent any kind of tricks. If you guys wonder what kind of tricks you can do, it's a very cute trick, actually. You can build a gas over here with your probe, right? Then you can mine these minerals. Get gas, mine these minerals, get gas, mine these minerals, etc. And what you can use it for is, for example, to shade in adepts over here instead. Like from here, you have access to both the main and the natural. It's just a thing you could do. It's more commonly seen from Zerg, because Zerg can run in links, and if links get into your base too early, you die. But for Zerg, obviously, you need 2 drones for that at least, because the drone sadly dies when you make an extractor. Now, this Protoss player is... like... It's not like the build is that bad, like looking at the resources spent and stuff, but it's just not a good strategy for PvZ, okay? First of all, not walling the natural is crazy. I see Hero do it sometimes, but he crazy, but this is... I mean, just the fact that they didn't even wall the main base, like, you have the buildings to wall it off safely, you know? It's not like you're gonna block any units, so... I'm not 100% sold on this. And now they're going to go for 3-gate against Zerg, which is also kind of crazy. It's just Stargate. This is something I don't like, by the way. It's something I would love to be changed. But Stargates are honestly just really broken against Zerg. So, like, you always go for a Stargate, basically, because it's just too good. I would love for Protoss players to be able to do other stuff as well. But they just have, like, one tech that is, like, insanely powerful. And then the rest is not as good. Like, playing Twilight openings is not that good against Zerg. Neither Robo. You just play Stargate. So, that shows either that he doesn't know that it's a good build, or he just doesn't like playing like that, which is the same as me, right? But I still feel like the entire setup does not look that glorious over here on the Protoss side. Let's look back at Mr. Zerg. Mr. Zerg has made 10 Zerglings, which is about fine. It's taking a lot of gases over here without actually saturating this one. I mean, they're down 10 workers already. Also, no rally on the eggs. That's very notable. No queen over here. That definitely could make just 2 more queens right now from these hatcheries, and it would be fine. Okay, so it doesn't look terrible, of course, but it's definitely not clean. I would say that right now I am around platinum for this mentally, but I am not sold. I feel like on the other games I was sold pretty fast. Last game took me a while to get to Grandmaster, which I guess I wasn't theoretically correct on, but I still feel like I was correct because 5k is in my head that's Grandmaster, but it's all good. But here I'm not 100% sold yet. It's also a very low interaction game so far, right? Like they haven't fought each other yet. Haven't been able to see micro. Also, this kind of wall with the... Like, this loses to a Baneling Bust pretty viciously as well, so that is scary. Now, the follow-up looks pretty decent here, right, from Protoss. We have... okay, Double Forge didn't see that. We have Twilight Forge. You got the Robo Templar Archives. Like, if it goes into Zealot Immortal Archon, that's perfectly fine. Zerg player is going double Evo, but he's making different upgrades. So... I mean, in PvZ or ZVP rather, that's kind of acceptable, actually. Because you can go like Zergling Hydra or something like that, and it's okay. Normally, if you go double Evo, you'd probably make a complementing set of upgrades, though, like melee and armor or range and armor, right? But I think in ZVP, this is pretty common. Not usually you see double Evo, so that's kind of the weird part. But getting both attack upgrades, that does make sense. I think usually you get it from 1 Evo. So the mineral saturation here is not great. As you can see, this base is missing 7 drones, and this one had 6 too many. So that would have been a pretty perfect way to get back. I think we're also making too much gas here. Huh. This is a tough one. I need to see some fights, honestly. I feel like it's a lot harder if I don't get to see, like, the interactions, you know? Like, because the thing is, in StarCraft 2, everyone has strengths and weaknesses, okay? If you're a diamond player... It's extremely unlikely that you're diamond in macro and micro and multitasking and minimap awareness. It's just, there's no chance, you know? So it could be possible that this guy is amazing at micro or terrible at micro. And that would either drag the average down or up, you know? I was going for 2... Okay, this is this is a pretty uncrack version of my upgrade rushes. It's, first of all, double Evo, and then double Spire. Then we made a Roach Warren before, and now we're getting a Hybrid and an Infestation Pit and a 4th hatch. That is a lot of stuff at once. I would say that the Protoss build actually makes more sense than the Zergs, which is kind of crazy to say, because they went for... a non-wall expand into a crappy second wall in 3 gate before tech. But I think the Protoss strategy here, Zealot Archon with upgrades, does make more sense, I want to say. Do we have units yet? We have 9 roaches. I mean, it's not a big army. There's no War Prism here. War Prism is a very natural thing to build, by the way, with an attack. So the fact that there is no War Prism is also another sign. Okay, so the Zerg player move commanded a little bit. Besides that, I mean, it's not a very high micro battle. I think the Protoss player literally hasn't microed. The Zerg player microed a little bit. Wait, did those drones escape? Or how did they even get through there? Not quite sure. Okay. Now, it's crazy to me that the Protoss player is not actually reinforcing this. He's warping in at home right now. His wall is making this so much more difficult for him as well. The Zerg player loses the base. What is the response? Also, what's the energy on the queen? Oh, that is a lot of energy on the queens. Ooh, no injects over here. The mineral saturation also hurts a little bit, guys. Look. 9 drones missing here, and there's 13 too many. 4 drones missing here. Wait, is that perfect? Did I say 13? He's literally... Oh, now it's 2 instead of 4, because one of the patches mined out. He was literally missing 13 drones on those patches, and he had 13 too many here, so that would have been a perfect resaturation. Yeah, at this level of play, first thing that I would recommend is just always to look at the numbers and just fulfill them no matter what, because your eco will just be so much better. Like, you're missing a serious amount of mineral income here, and, like, you want to be spending it. Like, in this case, there were not enough injects. This queen has 200 energy, which means a maxed amount of injects were missed. One thing that a lot of Zergs also don't know, very important tip for the lower leagues, guys. you can stack injects, okay? You can literally shift inject this hatchery 8 times and you won't have to look for the next, what is that, 3 minutes or something? Like, it's a big thing, okay? Also, it's weird to me how, like, the other bases are kind of injected. Like, not perfectly, but kind of. But this one is just completely missed. And we don't have enough larvae to spend our money. So the injects here are actually a big deal. Now, we did resaturate this mineral line, which is really great. This mineral line is also saturated, so now it's looking better. So we did fix it eventually. You don't want to go head forward with those links against the Archons. A little bit of stutter step forward by the Zerg. Okay. I'm trying to identify the micro here for the most part. There was micro, but it wasn't the ideal micro here. Let me actually go back quickly just so I can show you guys. You want to stutter step forward when you need your units to get closer, okay? So here you can stutter step forward because you want to target the Archons, right? Target the Archons, get the next Archon. But then this one, there is no fodder for the units at all. Your units are already in range. So now what you're basically doing is giving the Archons and Zealots maximum value. So this last stutter step forward was a pretty big micro mistake there. But, I mean, it was only one. And then I actually like the end of this fight. I know that sounds crazy because you guys saw nothing happen. The reason why I like it is because a lot of people run away. Okay, this battle is very interesting. A lot of people run away when the fight is hopeless, but very often you can't run away. In this case, there were 15 Blinkstalkers. So if you run away without shooting, you would have lost the units for free. But by fighting, you actually, you know, kill maybe a couple units, right? So that's okay. Now, this Protoss player did run away with this army against, I want to say that was like 20 Zerglings. So that was maybe not the best awareness of the battle. I am currently thinking that it might be gold as well. I mean, the money spending by the Protoss is probably too good for that, right? I think it is. Just, I feel like the Zerg player over here is struggling a little bit this game for sure. I see a lot of decisions in... It's not even the fights. It's not even so much the macro. I feel like it's very much the strategic decision-making that's catching me off a little bit. Because double Evo, double Spire, Roachborn, Infestation Pit, Hydra Den. And then we lose the units. All of them, and we're on the risk of dying, and then we start some Mutalisk and a Hive. So I don't really like that. Also, this queen, yeah, look, I think maybe you don't know, but you can stack injects. It would be the best thing you could do. Just fully stack that queen. Let's see. Oh, we do it. Okay. Just use all of it. Like, you might as well. Like, there was 2 injects, but you might as well just put like 10 of them. Like, literally stack it completely full, though. That is what it is. Okay, Lurker then is on the way. That is a very good choice, actually. That's exactly what you need. I do think this part is smart. Like, the Mutalisks are probably the best way to keep the Protoss at home. And then you're actually going to try to build something behind it that can kill the ground. I do really like that play. Also, the Mutalisk harass was decent there. Yeah, I think I'm still on plat here, guys. I don't think we're going to go down to gold. I guess we're going to be able to see a lot from how the macro is going to be from here on out. Because these guys have a lot of money, okay? They have a lot of money. Protoss player does have good upgrades. He's actually going to go towards 332, which is very significant. He's making pylons, even though he's already maxed on supply. So that kind of shows me that he's still focusing on the basics, like just try to spend your money in any way you can, right? So the Lurkers are out. And I think if the Lurkers are out, guys, this game is going to turn pretty quickly, because the Protoss player does not have a lot that's good against Lurkers. Okay. Let's see, Mutalisk Micro. Honestly, pretty good. Defense here, okay, that was a good split, actually. Not F2ing your entire army to one spot is nice. I mean, he might still be F2ing, but he did have the presence of mind to split them initially, so that's very good. Lurkers are being built. A very important thing here as well is that we're not building Hive upgrades for the Lurkers. And Lurkers without a Hive upgrade suck. Okay? Like, the Hive upgrades are what make the Lurkers so good. So the fact that you're not rushing towards them is also telling me quite a bit. Like, you could have made these exact Lurkers on Lairtech. Right? You can make Lurkers on Lairtech. The reason you don't is because you want the Hive upgrades. But we're not actually getting them, so that's a little scary. The Lurkers are chilling over here. Oof. This is a tough one, guys. I'm not 100% sold yet. I still think it could be gold for sure. I still think it could be gold for sure. But then again, gold also just Doesn't feel right somehow, but... Okay, burrowing the lurkers in advance. That's a cool play. One thing that's really nice to do with lurkers as well... But, oh, there we go. Hive upgrades. Now, look at this. Non-hive upgraded lurkers are gonna, like... This army can't beat lurkers. It can't. So now we have a couple things. Let's see how the Zerg moves the lurkers, first of all. Let's see how the Protoss reacts to the lurkers now he knows about them. Also, this composition by Protoss is very notable. 0 late-game transition here, okay? No Stargates, no Immortals, no extra Robos or anything, okay? So there's no composition transition here from the Protoss at all. Zerg player is making the perfect units. Oh, I wanted to say earlier, a really nice thing to do with Lurk. If you play against non-Stargate... Lurker should be literally unbeatable, because you can just make an Overseer with Hydras and snipe the Observer. Like, the only way to realistically detect these things is with Oracle Revelation. Like, Observers don't really cut it, honestly. So, like, how many Observers does he have? He has 2 Observers in total, 1 with his army. Imagine if you have a Hydra and an Overseer. You have a Hydra range already, I'm sure. Ooh, that's a good run by, actually. Then you can just kill that instantly, and it's... Like, absolutely no hope for the Protoss. Now, the macro is slipping viciously here, guys. Absolutely viciously. Ooh. Oh, no. Oh. No, we need to see that again. Sorry, like, this is a must. Yep. This is what I was talking about, guys. You already saw it a little bit. We need to see this full battle unfold. He's gonna go for this as well. He saw it, right? He sees it. He moves forward. No way he decides to go for that. I mean, I know he will. Oh, the blink in! Oh, no! Oh, that is disgusting! Look at his supply, guys! Look at his supply! Could this be silver, guys? Could this still be silver? Look at the macro! Look at the macro. Could it be silver? I mean, he does burrow the lurkers in a good time. We saw like a little bit of micro. Oh man, poor Protoss player. It's so interesting to watch. Like the game with WikiHu that we saw earlier, game number 2, I believe. This game, it's like all these games are like one correct decision away from winning, you know? But the games get so chaotic because the players don't know. They haven't had enough practice yet. They don't know enough theory yet, you know? And it's so interesting to see. Like here, the Protoss player could have A-moved when he killed his Hydra army here, and he would have won for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. But instead he didn't, and then the Zerg player just comes back. A couple mutas to keep him at home, makes 20 lurkers, or however many he made in total, I don't know, maybe 15 or so, doesn't actually look like that many. Is still sieging the lurkers forward. I think I'm gonna go for gold for this one. I feel like there were a couple moves. Oh, it's hard. I actually think it's between silver and gold, to be honest. I don't think it's gonna be platinum with this macro, right? I don't think so. There was a base over here as well. I didn't actually check that. Like, first of all, the starting build was really bad by the Protoss. Then the follow-up mid-game build was quite good by the Protoss. Zealot Archon timing attack with a Robo. And that's where the Zerg really struggled. But then the late game, I mean, Protoss just didn't go for a late game. He had... has he made a single tech unit beside an Archon this game? I don't think so. Not a Immortal, Colossus, Disruptor, Void Ray Carrier. Like, he doesn't even have a Stargate, I think. So absolutely 0 late game from the Protoss, which does show a complete lack of knowledge of the meta, right? Like, complete. Because Stargate is not just the building you build at the start of the game. You transition into it, or at least, very least, you make Immortals. And then 7,000 minerals. It's just, I once played a rank roulette, and I guessed, I think I guessed Masters on a silver player, because they blinked under Brood Lords, and I thought that was too high level of a move. And in that game, I very clearly remember that player having 5,000 minerals in the bank, and he was silver. And that was a base trade too, which makes it harder to spend the money. This macro could mean that it's silver, but I think I'm gonna go for gold, because they were like just moving the lurkers forward at a decent pace, you know. The Protoss player hitting somewhat of a decent timing attack over here. I think I'm gonna go for gold. I don't know exactly what the gold MMRs are, but I'm gonna say that this is probably on the lower end of gold, right? So maybe 2.4k MMR is what I'm gonna say. I'm pretty scared for this reveal. Let's see. Oh no. Oh, it was 3K in platinum. Oh, sorry about that one, my guy. Sorry about that one. Yeah, no. I think the money really got to me. I think the money was just, it was too much. 7K it's pretty insane. And the complete lack of injects from this queen as well. Here it says, yeah, it says 116, but that's not correct. Like, this is a 200 energy queen. This is a 200 energy queen. This one is also, like, we had 3 larvae for all this money because we missed, it was at 8, 16. There's no queen over here, so 24, no, 32 injects at least. Because we don't know how much this has been stacked. So I think the macro really got to me. Yeah, the lurker play was good, but the macro was a little rough. So sorry, I think that's the only one that I guessed way too low this time. So sorry, Panorama, but it is what it is. I wonder if you guys did better than me today. I know the first 2 guesses I was insane. Last 2 guesses I was slightly off, 400 and 600 respectively. This one was the worst one by far. I knew guessing the Zerg was going to be harder than a Terran, but that's going to be it for today. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you want to see another one. If you want to participate in that potential other one, join the Patreon so you can support your replays. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. Adios.